all you guys at some point at the end of the session or halfway through. My name is Moessner. I am Vice President. I also work in the keyboard department, HR, billing, pretty much almost everything. Don't ask me a choral game question. So, but I also want to thank you all for being here on behalf of Keveren and myself and Lisa and my staff. Thank you so much for coming in today. I want to give a special thank you to Keveren down there. She spends a lot of time reading through all the things from our publishers. And there's some really good ones and then there's some not, so she picks them through and tries to take out the best for you guys here today. And hope that you guys will find something to be able to go home with through the church or at home. So real quick, because I know we were always short on time, I want to introduce you to Larry Shackley. He is a full-time composer and editor from Columbia, South Carolina, from 1995 to 2007. He taught and directed the music programs at Columbia International University in Columbia, South Carolina. Prior to that, we worked for several years at the Moody Broadcasting in Chicago, creating original music and producing radio programs. He's been active in the church music since his teens, not too long ago.
Yesterday.
10 years, serving many churches in keyboard, including 10 years at Willow Creek Community Church in South Barrington, Illinois. Mr. Shackley is also an active studio musician, arranger, and orchestrator. Over the past several years, he's devoted most of his composing to music for the church, writing over 700 keyboard arrangements, 350 choral pieces, and with a variety of the publishers. He has won multiple ASCAP awards and has received commissions from churches, schools, community choirs across America. Larry Shackley and his wife, Joni, have 4 children, Stephanie, Andy, Laurel, okay, sure, and Jeffrey, and 5, have we had any more since? Oh, we have 7, okay. I know Emily.
I'll show you the pictures.
Katie, Luke, Evelyn, and I got 2 more. Who are the other 2?
Eleanor and Gilbert.
Oh, congratulations. All right, now, more trivia information about Larry Shackley and his game show experience. Larry Shackley, a music professor from Columbia, South Carolina, appeared in the U.S. version shown as of 2001. He walked away, what show was this? U.S. version of the show. He walked away with 64,000.
That was a millionaire show.
That's the millionaire show. He also played, he was a champion in Jeopardy. And he lost the 3rd game to none above to Keveren. According to Stanton sheet music sales, I do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Something maybe you, weren't you in another show? $1 million?
No, I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's right, okay. So, according to Stanton sheet music sales, what is the most popular Celtic piano collection of Larry Shackley? A, Celtic hymns for Christmas. Hymns. B, hymns in Celtic style. C, Celtic creations. Or D, Celtic hymn settings.
I would say D.
Correct.
Because it's been out for a little
Yeah.
bit.
2, who has the biggest hairdo of all sacred piano arrangers? A, Melody Bober. I know you guys all know who this is. B, Lloyd Larson. C, Mary McDonald. Or D, Joseph Martin.
That would be C.
All right. Well, thank you. I would like to again introduce you to Larry Shackley. And it's on to you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
How many of you were here, like I was here 4 years ago, I think, or something, for that? And you came back. That's good. It's good to be back here. I told the choral folks, you are so fortunate to have a store like Stanton's in your community. It's just amazing because over the last 20 years or so, I did a lot of retail store concessions like this, and most of those places are gone. There was a couple places up in Canada that are closed. Out of the west side, Albuquerque, that was closed. And so patronize your local store. I know sometimes you're tempted to go online and buy something there, but your friends are here. Nobody likes you at Amazon or that other place I mentioned that sounds like bookstore, and I can see some of you have a big stack of books. Okay, that's going to pay the staff salary for next week. But it's great to be back. They asked me if I would share a little spiritual idea. The one thing I was thinking of after doing this morning's session, that there's a verse I wasn't able to put my finger on. In the New Testament, though the outer man is basically falling apart, the inner man is being renewed. So I feel like my outer man is really falling apart, and I'm just glad to be back. I hit 70 years old this year, so yeah, I feel that a little bit. But it is nice to be at a session where I can sit the entire time, because I have a bad back. So, but the other thing was, I've been reading in, I'm sure it's on your top 10 list of favorite books of the Bible, First Chronicles, First and Second Chronicles, which were written by priests. So that's where there's all sorts of tables of genealogies and who was in charge of the doorway and who was in charge of the altar and whatever. But anytime in there that there's anything significant happening spiritually in the temple, there's musicians there. We're dedicating something, there's the musicians. Well, there's the story of the King Jehoshaphat, who actually sent his army out and put the musicians up in front. Nice old King Jehoshaphat. But we won that one. So, anything that was anointed by God, where there was going to be a special moving of God's Spirit in the congregation, the musicians were there. And we even know what their names were. And there's one verse I couldn't find, again, but there was one verse where they said somebody was appointed as the head musician, and my translation basically is because he knew what he was doing. He understood how to play the instruments and stuff. So God values that. God values your gift to your church of using your hands to worship and to lead the congregation. Sometimes you think they're not listening, but you're playing for the Lord, and you will frequently find out that you were ministering to somebody else that you didn't even know. They might come up to you and say something to you. I'm hoping that today we can find a lot of good things. I have a whole box full of books here that Keveren sent. Now, I have to say, for years, I did all the demos for Lorenz. I worked for Lorenz, and so we would put 2 demos from every book up online. And I would always go through the book and find like a fast one and a slow one. I think that's kind of what you do. You can look for a big one and a down one. But then I would look for which are the easiest ones. Because I got to play 10 books and two things from each book. So the trouble is that Keveren doesn't have that little second part of the choice thing. Keveren just goes through and looks for pieces that are really nice. Doesn't think about poor old Larry has ancient fingers that has to play them. So I apologize in advance. Another thing is, how many of you keep a pencil handy at the piano at church? Good. I'm always writing stuff in choir practice. If I make a mistake, I go back and say, why did I make that mistake? Sometimes it's because the publisher blew something and put the wrong close in the line. But a lot of times it's because I missed a ledger line, or I didn't see that accidental there, or I came in on the wrong beat of some complicated thing. So I'm always marking up. So my music has lots and lots of pencil marks in it. Now, when Keveren sent this beautiful box of untouched keyboard books, which are going to have to go onto the shelf to be sold, she said, please don't make marks in the books. Because, we have to sell these books that are expensive. So I'm blaming that on why I'm making mistakes today, because I couldn't take my pencil out and mark up the book. So anyway, let's get started. I'm wasting too much time just talking. So I've done a few books that are based on American gospel songwriters from the 19th century. I did a book of Robert Lowry, I did a book of William Bradbury pieces. You wouldn't recognize his name maybe, but if you saw the titles of the songs, you know exactly who it was. So I wanted to do another one, and I was going to choose William Doane and Charles Gabriel, who, if you look in the back of your hand, you'll find their name. But nobody knows their name. You should know William Doane because he's an Ohioan who was a famous, not only wrote all these great hymns with Fanny Crosby and stuff, but he had his own company. He was an inventor. He invented all these tools for lumber work and stuff. He was an amazing person. And he and Fanny Crosby wrote several cantatas about Santa Claus, which you don't know about, but they are out there. So anyway, so I said to them, I said, I'm going to do all these songs that, since Jesus came into my heart, to God be the glory, near the cross, higher ground. Everybody knows these titles. Nobody knows who William Doane is. So I said, don't put their names on the cover. Just put like gospel greats from America's 19th century or something. So when they came out, that will be glory. The music of William Doane and Charles Gabriel song. Everybody's going to go, oh, I want that one. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just extending my lunch hour. This is "Oh, That Will Be Glory." That's where the title of the song of the book comes from. I try to fold the page corner without really breaking it. Draw Me Nearer by William Doane. intermezzo here. It depends on whether your hymnal puts the first line as the title. There are some hymnals that do, and then Drum Me Near is like the chorus, so they use that as the title. I got this big priority mailbox in my mail one day with all the books from Keveren. And I have Praise Without End by Lloyd Larson. Now, in order not to make Larson books, I stuck a post-it note on the front of each one with some ideas. So this is an energetic book. If you're looking for some peppy postludes or preludes, it's more traditional. It's got kind of a classical feel almost to it. In fact, there are some classical composers represented in here. Gustav Holst, Charles Stanford, who was a 19th century British choral and symphony composer, and Ludwig van Beethoven, you've heard of him. So lots of really nice, bigger tunes. And the title of the book, Praise Without End, has to do with the fact that you can finish a piece, and then there's a little link, and then you just go on to the next piece. So it's kind of a modulating thing to get you ready for the next piece. Now, what's my first one here? It is Joyful, Joyful on page 42. So Lloyd has given Beethoven a little bit of a rhythmic lift. I'm trying to avoid those awkward pauses. All right, here's Joyful. music, God is glorified. This is a tune by Charles Stanton, very big in British choral circles, but wrote a whole set of beautiful symphonies, and he also wrote some very nice orchestra pieces called Irish Rhapsodies. This is Irish Rhapsody 1 through 6. And if you want to have some really pleasant listening, go to wherever you stream your music from, and look for the Stanford Irish Rhapsodies. I think you'll like it. All right, so now Karen did tell me that I can cut some of the pieces. She said I didn't have to cut mine. Right, wasn't that?
Yeah, whatever you wish.
Yeah, okay. I just have to keep my time here because I have no idea what time it is. And, where's my granddaughters? Service, but that's a beautiful post. Send people out. They might even want to stick around and hear the end. Occasionally happens. When I was editing books for Lorenz, there would be a time of year where I had a whole stack of manuscripts I had to play through, and so I would go to the piano and I'd be playing, and my wife would say, "Oh, that's really nice. Who is that?" Maybe thinking it was me. It's Lloyd Larson. So I'd be playing something like that. Oh, who's that? Like Lloyd Larson. So I told Lloyd, I said, well, my wife really loves all your piano books. Mark Hayes now, Songs for All Seasons. We have two books by Mark which have similar outline. It's a book, as it says, for all seasons. These are new. It's from Hope Publishing. Let me see what I told myself to do here. Read the preface. Okay, good. He has Advent, Christmas, Lent, Easter, Pentecost, All Saints, Thanksgiving, Communion, children's emphasis and peace and justice emphasis. And some of them are hymns that you can play anytime, but he just kind of organized them that way. So it's just sort of a sampler. You know, there aren't like 5 Christmas pieces in here. There's one. But it was Birthday of the Kings. I'm not going to play that today, though. I'm going to play, at least I'll play the beginning of it. Mark can't help himself. He said he was jazz mode. So this one starts out kind of serenely. Then Mark sends in the rhythm section. That's on his list for possible Thanksgiving song. Spirit of God, descend upon my heart. This is one that could be for Whit Sunday, as we used to say. In the church of England. It's real pretty arrangement. I'm going to start again. Mark this is better. keep on the page or keep up on your music rack all year long, this is a nice selection. Songs for all seasons. Molly Ijames, Through the Ages, lovely picture of the cathedral, what used to be a cathedral or an abbey or something there. Timeless Hymns and Carols, arranged for piano solo. Have you ever done any of Molly's anthems? She does these wonderful arrangements of hymns. I always tell her it's like you take us on a trip, because as it moves through, we're changing keys and it's changing mood, but it's not gimmicky. It's just, you feel like she's just propelling you through the piece. And several of them have been published by Beckenhorst, your local neighborhood music publisher. And they had the idea that Molly should take some of these choral arrangements and turn them into piano arrangements, because she's a fine pianist. And so, Through the Ages, yeah, I think, let's see, what was it? Sorry, I'm looking at all my notes here. Okay, so let's look at a couple of these. I Sing the Mighty Power of God. So you can kind of hear, it's, you know, they're very thought through arrangements and interesting takes on these melodies. Section is only 4 measures long. And Jordan's Stormy Banks. This is one of our great American tunes, kind of anonymous tunes. done a big run near the end, or arpeggio. My thumb's on a black key now. I don't like that. No. But anyway, really fun arrangements, and these are not easy. These are challenging arrangements from Molly.
How do you say her last name?
She pronounces it Ijames, like that dog food that's just I-A-M-S. This is I-J-A-M-E-S, but it's Ijames. That was the first question I asked her when I met her. Molly, please tell me how to say your name. Okay, Phillip Keveren, that's the name that's familiar, I think, to most everybody, because he's written so much educational material, and he wrote a gorgeous anthem called Forevermore that my choir has done at church. It just blows me away, because it's like, it's a real anthem. I mean, it's got sections to it, and it has really nice orchestration. Although, and then I went out there, I took a picture of it. There's a book out there I'd love to get. ABBA for the concert pianist, classical pianist, by Phillip Keveren. So I looked in there. Oh yeah, look at that. He has vodka there with Dancing Queen, and you know. So it looks like a fascinating book. But he's just a wonderful and prolific arranger, as you can see. This is my understanding is this is a collection of things from other books that he has done before. This is the Essential Worship Anthology, so it's contemporary worship pieces, but contemporary going back as far as the first piece that I'll play, which is The Family of God by Bill Gaither. Now, I remember when that was a contemporary song, back in high school. But he has songs going up to, I think I saw at least 25 songs, so you know, it's a wide range of authors and trends in contemporary worship music over the last 30 to 50 years, but here's a little bit of The Family of God. These are more easy to play. Modulates into a different key. There's a section where the left hand takes the melody. So there's a little bit of variety there, but it's not hard to compare. Also from this book is Holy Forever, which is a more recent book. Recent song. It's Chris Tomlin and his pals. Here's a bit of that. There's a second verse. Does your handout have any of those songs listed in it? Okay. So you can see the variety in there. I can see things. There's a few Gaithers. There's songs from the 90s, the 2000s. Well, there's one here that I heard it for the first time last week at a funeral, and it was recent. So if you want, here's How Deep the Father's Love, one of my favorite ones, Stuart Townend's song. So it's In Christ Alone, so there's a couple of Geddes in here. So it's a good variety of contemporary worship songs, and they're presented in a way they're tasteful, but they're not chop busters, So really nice resource.